What if I told you that you could plant a garden once and feed yourself and your family for decades without ever replanting most of it? A garden that produces year after year, even through harsh winters, with far less work than your typical vegetable patch. Most people don't realize this, but while we slave over tomatoes and lettuce every spring, there are crops out there that take care of themselves. Crops that can keep producing for 20, 30, even 50 years. Today, I'm going to reveal 20 of these incredibly productive crops that grow like fruit trees. Stick around, because number 14 on this list can produce fruit for over a century, and number 20 is so vigorous that your only problem might be keeping it from taking over your property. If you want ancient wisdom delivered straight to you every week, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming. Let's start with number 1, hardy kiwi, the fence-line food factory. Actidia arguta is a perennial vine that, once established, can produce 50 to 100 pounds of smooth, grape-sized kiwis every year. Unlike the fuzzy kiwis in stores, these are sweet, pop-in-your-mouth fruits that taste even better. Hardy kiwi is incredibly cold-hardy, surviving temperatures as low as -25 degrees Fahrenheit, and can continue producing for 50 years or more. Minimal care is required. The vines resist pests, adapt to most soils, and only need one male plant to pollinate up to 8 females. Train it along a fence or arbor, and in just 3 to 5 years, you have a fruit factory that will keep giving for decades. Modern research shows these fruits pack more vitamin C than oranges. This is the crop that turns your fence into a long-term food source. Number 2, mayhaw, the southern jelly gold mine. Credigus aestivalis is a small tree native to the American South, producing tart, berry-sized fruits perfect for jelly and syrup. A mature tree can yield 20 to 30 gallons of fruit in a season. It thrives in swampy or low-lying areas where other fruit trees struggle. Mayhaws are long-lived, disease-resistant, and require almost no care once established. Spread sheets under the trees and shake the branches for a bountiful harvest. For generations, this tree has turned wet, neglected land into a jelly-making operation, producing wealth and fruit for decades. Number 3, the serviceberry, also called Saskatoon. Small trees or large shrubs from the Amalanthaea species produce sweet, blueberry-like berries, stunning spring flowers, and beautiful fall foliage. Cold-hardy to Zone 2, serviceberries produce 10 to 20 pounds of fruit per plant, ripening in early summer. Native Americans harvested these extensively, drying them for winter use. They tolerate partial shade, resist deer, and require minimal pruning. What most people don't know is that this plant outperforms blueberries in reliability and adaptability, making it a multi-season powerhouse for any garden. Number 4, Cornelian cherry dogwood, the ancient survivor. Cornus mas has been cultivated in Europe and Asia for thousands of years. Tart cherry-like fruits appear in late summer, while bright yellow flowers bloom in winter, sometimes through the snow. These trees are hardy to Zone 4, tolerate drought, and can live for well over a century. They produce abundant fruit for decades with almost no input. Traditional uses included drying for compotes or even pickling. It's a plant that has already outlived generations and will continue producing long after we're gone. Number 5, jujube, the drought champion. Ziziphus jujuba has been cultivated in China for over 4,000 years. Sweet, date-like fruits thrive on neglect, dry soil, and heat. Trees produce 40 to 100 pounds of fruit annually, resist pests, and avoid late frost damage due to their slow leaf out in spring. Plant them once, and they will keep rewarding you, even when other fruit trees fail under challenging conditions. Number 6, medlar, the medieval treasure. Mespelis germanica produces fruits that must partially decompose before eating. The result is a complex dessert reminiscent of spiced apple butter. Medlar trees are hardy, cold-resistant, and produce reliably for decades with minimal care. You can harvest in late fall and store them to ripen indoors, turning patience into flavor. It's a forgotten tree that transforms time into culinary magic. Number 7, quince, the preserving powerhouse. Cydonia oblonga produces 200 to 300 pounds of hard, aromatic fruits per tree in a good year. Though astringent raw, they cook into glowing preserves, jams, and jellies, naturally high in pectin. Disease-resistant, tolerant of heavy clay soil, and cold-hardy to Zone 5, quince turns a single afternoon of harvest into a year's worth of gourmet preserves. Number 8, aronia, the antioxidant factory. Also called chokeberry, Aronia produces 20 to 30 pounds of small dark berries packed with antioxidants, more than blueberries or acai. These shrubs grow from zones 3 to 8, tolerate poor soil, extreme cold, and require virtually no care beyond occasional pruning. Processed into juice or jam, Aronia turns neglect into nutrition, proving that resilience and health can grow together. Number 9. Sea buckthorn, the vitamin explosion. Hippophae rhamnoids produces up to 50 pounds of orange berries per plant and fixes nitrogen in the soil. Rich in vitamin C, vitamin E, and omega fatty acids, these thorny shrubs tolerate poor soil, salt spray, wind, drought, and cold. For homesteaders seeking nutrition and soil improvement in challenging conditions, nothing compares. Number 10. Gumi, the nitrogen-fixing fruit. Elaeagnus multiflora produces 8 to 15 pounds of sweet tart berries per plant and fixes nitrogen, improving soil while feeding you. They tolerate partial shade, resist pests, and require little care. This is the plant that works for you in more ways than one: soil enrichment, nutrition, and beauty. Number 11. Honeyberry, the early season champion. Lonicera caerulea ripens before strawberries even think about it, producing elongated, sweet berries that taste like a mix of blueberry and raspberry. Cold-hardy to minus 40 degrees, pest-free, and incredibly productive, honeyberry fills the early season gap for northern growers. It's the fruit that laughs at harsh climates. Number 12. Elderberry, the syrup machine. Sambucus, nigra, and canadensis produce clusters of dark purple berries known for immune-supporting syrups. A mature bush yields 12 to 15 pounds annually, with edible flowers adding versatility. Adaptable to wet or dry soils, elderberries grow 8 to 12 feet tall and form dense clumps. Cook the berries into syrup or wine, and you've turned your backyard into a pharmacy and winery in one. Number 13. Mulberry, the abundance tree. Morus species produce 100 to 300 pounds of sweet, blackberry-like fruits per tree. Pest-resistant and easy to grow, black mulberries are particularly flavorful. Be mindful of placement, though the fruits drop as they ripen, staining the ground. For actual food production, few trees rival the mulberry. Number 14. Pawpaw, the native custard fruit. Asamina triloba produces large, custard-like fruits that taste like banana, mango, and melon combined. Trees yield to 100 pounds annually and can keep producing for over a century. Leaves contain natural insecticides, protecting the crop. Plant pawpaws now, and your grandchildren could be harvesting from the same trees. Number 15. American persimmon, the frost-sweet survivor. Diospyros virginiana bears fruits that are astringent until post-frost, then transform into sweet, date-like treats. Trees are incredibly hardy, drought-tolerant, and produce 75 to 150 pounds of fruit annually for decades. Once established, they are virtually indestructible, perfect for permanent food production in tough conditions. Number 16. Loquat, the early spring producer. Areobatria japonica is evergreen, providing beauty year-round while producing sweet, apricot-tangent mango-flavored fruit in early spring. Hardy in zones 8 to 10, and drought-tolerant once established, Loquat ensures you have fresh fruit before most other trees even flower. Number 17. Feijoa, the fragrant multitasker. Acaciloiana produces 50 to 200 pounds of tropical-flavored fruit and beautiful edible flowers. Tolerant of poor soil, drought, and coastal conditions, Feijoa proves productivity can also be beautiful, fragrant, and useful. Number 18. Perennial leek and elephant garlic. Allium ampuloprasum forms, clumps that produce harvestable stems and large, mild bulbs for 10 to 15 years or more. Minimal care is required, and the plants naturally multiply. This is the allium that refuses to follow the annual cycle. Number 19. Good King Henry, the perennial green. Blidum bonus henricus produces spinach-like leaves and asparagus-like shoots every spring. Cold-hardy to zone 5, it tolerates partial shade and requires almost no care. Ancient gardeners relied on it. Modern gardeners are rediscovering it. Number 20. Jerusalem artichoke, or sunchoke, the unstoppable tuber. Helianthus tuberosus grows 6 to 10 feet tall, producing 50 to 100 pounds of edible tubers annually. Tolerant of drought, floods, poor soil, and neglect, it returns year after year, creating a permanent food source with minimal effort. Plant it once, and it keeps feeding you for decades. If you're starting to see the pattern, it's clear. The most productive crops aren't the ones we plant every year. They're the perennials that grow like fruit trees, the plants that reward patience, resilience, and minimal effort. By choosing the right crops, you can build a garden that feeds you for generations. Which of these crops would you plant first? Comment below and let me know. And if you want more rare insights to transform your roots into a long-term food factory, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, because we post weekly tips to help you save time, reduce labor, and maximize yield. Plant once, harvest for decades, and watch your garden become a living legacy. Thank you for watching.